Hello everyone, we are here at the Canada House at the NFT art exhibition, The Brilliant Resilient, which has been hosted by the High Commissioner of Canada, where 15 Sri Lankan artists have been curated by Kesara Ratna Vibhushana in collaboration with the Upside Space. Hi everyone, I am here with Kesara Ratna Vibhushana as we stand in with the art, the beauty of art as they represent the overcoming of challenges. Kesara, first of all, this is lovely. I heard you speak and it has all been about how the artists have overcome the challenges and have represented or reflected on the challenges that we have gone through over the past. How do you feel about this event at the moment?
Well, it's a little surreal because of all the challenges we've had, and at a certain point, because I'm answerable to Lisa and the platform, which have invested a lot and have given us that sort of opportunity, right? And they really were passionate, and they've supported us, and they've taken on a very challenging project. So each time I say, sorry, the power is going to cut out, I have to now jump on the laptop, and it was a good several months of this, right? So, and it culminated with the fact that Lisa flew down to Sri Lanka. And she said, I'll come to support. I would have been happy with a video call. But here she is, and David and Victoria, the Canada House, it's all come together beautifully. So I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled for the artists. I'm thrilled for Sri Lanka. I'm thrilled for our ability to creatively express ourselves. And it's not about political art or opinions. It's more than that. It's about freedom of thought.
So just before we let you go and enjoy the rest of the night, just a few more questions, and that's about, because this is in the digital space and it reaches out, like you mentioned before, it reaches out to the world pretty much. And so how could you tell us about the experience you had, because we have 15 Sri Lankan artists involved. Could you tell us about that experience and how you got them together and how it allows them to reach out to the community and the NFT movement?
So finding these artists was a incredible challenge. I knew some of them, I knew some of their work. Instagram, Twitter, the movement, the public displays of art that we've seen, that really helped to crystallize a lot of things. Then the filtering process, also the Upside Space, we have to make sure that the artists have a body of work. That means that they have been examining certain themes and topics and techniques in a very methodical way. Art has a bit of a science. It is a practice and a craft also. It's not just about how fine and pretty and beautiful it is, but the meaning that you can bring to it in a sustained way. So that's what really defines these artists as well. They have these bodies of work, they are looking at a central theme, and they're expressing it in a dozen different ways. And that's really, that comes together, and that's what defines it. To really bridge those, with not being able to travel and our slow internet and all of that, we needed to be able to physically meet in some cases and build those relationships up. Because Sri Lankans are about relationships, and that transcends even the most difficult challenges we have, and I want to showcase the relationships from all over the island to a far greater degree. There's so much potential. This is really a teaser of what Sri Lanka can do.
I am here with Anuma this evening. Anuma, first of all, thank you for joining us to speak to us, and this evening has been lovely. How are you feeling right now? What are your thoughts on the NFT art exhibition?
I really am excited to be part of the first NFT exhibition in Sri Lanka and part of this whole platform, because I've been wanting to do NFTs for a very long time. And so now, here's the opportunity, and I'm very, very grateful. And it's wonderful to see the variety of work, and that Lisa is supporting us so much, even to come here to Sri Lanka for this. I think it's very, very exciting because it's such a new way of looking at art and of owning art. because we always want to own things that we can touch. Of course, we can't touch this. And so I'm very excited. Thank you.
Well, it is a beautiful initiative, and also we saw lovely performances today and a lot of representation of how they were feeling, because art is truly a language of communication. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. I am here with David McKinnon, the High Commissioner of Canada. David, first of all, thank you for hosting such a beautiful NFT art exhibition. It's been lovely. It's been part of an amazing experience. How are you feeling right now? What are your thoughts on this lovely exhibition that you've hosted?
Well, I think for us, this actually is our last week in Sri Lanka, and we're leaving next week after 5 years here. But for us, the arts in Sri Lanka, the visual arts have been a really important part of getting to know this country, understanding it. There's so much creativity here. There's a willingness to experiment and when this opportunity came up to host this event at Canada House which also has a Canadian connection to it through Lisa Ray, the actor, we were very happy to be able to do it. Very impressed by what we've seen, and very happy by the reception to it. So for us, this is to go out on a high note in terms of our engagement with the creative industries here, which again, that creativity, that freedom of expression, all of that is such an integral part of a vibrant society like Sri Lanka. So we've just been very happy to be a part of it.
Well, it's been lovely and definitely something that you should be very proud of, because one of our next questions would be, how do you feel that the Canadian Embassy, or as the High Commissioner of Canada, how do you feel that we should go ahead in Sri Lanka to promote such lovely art and exhibitions such as these?
Well, I think it's to have the confidence in the creativity of your modern artists. That often there's Sri Lanka has wonderful ancient art traditions, but often that's what gets the focus rather than the creativity of the modern era. And all the way back to the mid-20th century, there was fantastic creativity here, starting with the Group of 43, even before that, and that has evolved through the decades. And now we see it's a contemporary art scene that reflects Sri Lanka's experience, reflects modern Sri Lanka. It's, in a way, all the things I love about this country, which is both very much of here, but it's also a place that's so networked internationally, and you see those influences and those connections in the art. So I think there's a very good future for Sri Lankan artists if they can be brought to the world.
Absolutely. And also, before we let you go enjoy the rest of the night this evening, could you also tell us about the future? I know this is your last week here, but what are your expectations, or how do you hope to promote such initiatives as the High Commissioner of Canada, and also on behalf of the Canadian Embassy?
Well, I think I'll have to leave it to my successors, the new High Commissioner, who will be coming in a couple of months to continue the promotion as the High Commissioner. But I can say that Victoria, my wife, and I, and Victoria really was integral to working to get this to happen today. She and I are very happy to be taking back quite a lot of Sri Lankan contemporary art, which will now be on show in Ottawa. So we'll be doing our bit there for bringing it to the attention of people in Canada. But we also know that, part of our heart is here after 5 years here, and we'll be regular visitors back to Sri Lanka, I'm quite sure.
Also, David, I just want to ask you one quick question about your experience in Sri Lanka that you had over the past 5 years. Could you take us through your experience?
Well, I guess as serendipity would have it, we've been here in a pretty extraordinary 5-year period Sri Lankan history has had some extraordinary periods, but from September 2017 till now, a lot has gone on, and for me, it's been a privilege to be able to represent Canada at this particular time, and to get to know Sri Lanka, get to understand the history and the culture, the complexity, the diversity of this country, and to understand that its future lies in bringing all that creativity together, bringing those communities together, and understanding that it is that diversity and that creativity that really is the future of this country.
And we would love to see you as well. And it's been lovely talking to you, David. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Thank you for hosting this, and thank you for being here in Sri Lanka.
Thanks to you for the interest. It's much appreciated.
Thank you, and have a great night ahead. with Vasi Samudradevi. Vasi, first of all, amazing performance. Congratulations on a beautiful performance. First of all, how are you feeling about this event and what are your thoughts on it right now?
It's kind of a new territory for me because I've never done anything related to NFTs, and this is like a completely new experience. I have no idea about what it is. I don't really get it, but I'm still eager to put a foot forward in it and see how it like works for me because
Art is a way of communicating and it's a way of bridging and connecting with the community. So, how do you feel that? Because we also saw your lovely performance. So, how do you feel about connecting to the community through art?
that's kind of how I communicate with a lot of people anyway through my art because like it's an easy way for me to like just get into it. It's kind of like breathing to me at this point, just making art to communicate with someone. So there is maybe an element of like not everyone might get it, so then that's kind of where I step in to like explain it if they need to, but then sometimes emotions just like help to sort of understand what's going on.
Just one more question because we saw your beautiful performance. Could you tell us a little bit more about the performance and how and what you wanted to communicate?
Right, so the performance came out of like this actual like something actually happened to me, and also because the fact that it was basically it's based on the economic crisis, and it's based on the fact that we have been having a shortage of medicines, and like also related to how it's affecting the trans community, which I belong. So like it was sort of like trying to talk about how I felt while shopping for medication, but also try and touch upon the fact that a lot of people don't have means to like get either surgeries they want or anything like that. So the actual text for this performance was written around 2 months ago, like two or 3 months ago, and now this is the first time I'm performing it.
We watched it and we loved it. Thank you so much for communicating it to us and have a great night ahead. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Thank you, Vasi.
Thanks for having me.
Adamant. It means we must harden into granite and diamond on the inside where it really counts. It means each of us determining ourselves by taking prompt external action instead of caving in within. And as the country around us spins into irredeemable chaos and there is a shortage of essential everything, it means not cowering or raging, but making sure everything goes as far as it can. Recycling, mending, reupholstering, repurposing, not only making do, but making more. Adapting from one form of energy to another, from electricity to firewood like our ancestors did. Grinding spices by hand in a machine-made bowl. In Jerusalem, they say, every pot has its lid. Each day we improvise, making a ritual which confers meaning and even joy, if not actual illumination, on what has to be done. And if this all fails to sustain our lives, we must treat the whole place like a corridor to where we really want to go, not allowing ourselves to engage too fully, moving fast and touching no surface on either side.